A jammy sponge.
Yes.
Well,
It sounds simple.
it sounds simple, but it's not. You know, how does it get made? So we sent Phil Vickery. He's swapped his chef whites for some white overalls. So we sent him to a factory in Essex, and he's looking at the kind of crème de la crème of jam.
The crème de la crème?
The crème de la crème.
Oh, right. Anyway, here it is.
What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour?
Since 1885, Wilkin & Sons have been making delicious jams, capturing the fresh flavours of British fruit for all of us to enjoy. And just so you know where these jams come from, they name their condiments after the village in Essex where they are made, Tiptree. And to make jam, you need fruit. And lots of it. As we're in autumn, one of the fruits you can still pick are these, raspberries. This farm produces over 50 tonnes of raspberries a year. Now that's a lot of jam. Joining me at the farm is Chris Newman, and he's going to help me pick some raspberries. How many canes do you grow here?
So about 12,000 per hectare.
And hectares are roughly the size of a football pitch.
That's right.
This farm has 3.5 hectares, so that's around 42,000 raspberry plants. One thing I find amazing, at this time of the year, they're still absolutely perfect, aren't they?
Yeah.
Firm, juicy.
They're almost at their best.
From here, they go to the factory. So let's see how it's made. So Tracy, what's happening here?
So this is our fruit sorting process. So all the fruit comes in off the farm, it's washed and then sorted by the people on the belt.
So every piece of fruit that's picked is checked by
Yes.
hand? All your jams?
Yes. So this is fruit that's come from the sorting belt.
Yep.
And it will go through this machine, which we call our pulper.
Right.
And the purpose of that machine is to remove some of the pips from the fruit.
100 kilos of fruit is processed per cycle. The fruit is put into hoppers and the sugar syrup is added. The hoppers go up to the boiling pans where each batch is steam heated to around 100 degrees centigrade for around about 10 to 15 minutes. Once heated, the jam is pumped across to the filling line where they go into glass jars. Lids are added mechanically and the jars are quality checked by eye. To cool the glass jars down, they pass through water sprayers. Once at the right temperature, the jars can be labelled. Fully made, the last part is to be packed, crated and then shipped out. Well, now I've seen the process from start to finish and how it's made, I need to cook with it. I'm going to show you how to make a steamed jam sponge, just like my mother used to make. So the first thing to do is to butter the bowl. And what I'm doing is using a little bit of soft butter. Place a tea towel or saucer into a pan of boiling water, so that the bowl doesn't come in direct contact with the bottom of the pan. So I'm using raspberry jam here. About half a jar does the trick. When you turn that pudding out, when that jam is warm, I want to see a real deep crust of jam and it should partially run down the pudding. So don't skimp on the jam. So what you need are 3 medium eggs, 125 grams of caster sugar. Whisk for about 3 to 4 minutes. What you're looking for is a nice, airy, light mixture that should hold its own weight. Next, 100 grams of plain flour. Then, using your hand, I'm just going to lift that up and just let the mixture fall through my hands. Now, you can use a spoon, but this ensures that you spend a good 3 or 4 minutes getting the air in. What you don't want to do is squeeze it out. Now, at the 3/4 stage when that's mixed in, you need to wash your hands. And just rain in the butter, 85 grams of butter on the back of the spoon. And then with a spatula this time, I'm just going to fold in the butter. Now, incorporate the butter, but don't beat out the air. So that is ready to go on top of my jam. I'm just going to pour that on like that. Cover with foil, as this will stop the water and steam getting in. On the saucer. Lid on, turn it down to a simmer and cook for around about 45 to 50 minutes. Now for the custard. So here I'm using a pint of milk and roughly 1 to 2 tablespoons of custard powder and sugar to taste, because bear in mind we've got quite a sweet pudding. Mix a little milk with custard powder and stir well, and bring the rest of the milk to the boil. I'm just going to whisk in the custard powder, and pretty much straight away it will thicken. Plate on top, and then invert like that. Bit of a tap.
Oh, look at that.
And there it is, my mum's steamed jam sponge. Delicious now, as it always was.
Oh, and there it is. Look, he sent us one back.
very good,
They've
yes.
warmed it up. Hang on, custard.
Yes,
So
yes,
just
yes.
pour straight over?
Yes, you just go ahead. When have I ever been
Oh, look
fussy?
at that.
Look at that.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
That's very moist and lovely. And is that raspberry jam?
It's so warm.
Oh.
Really nice.
Very nice.
That's not jam roly-poly, though, is it?
Steamed jam pudding.
Yeah. Because you know why I asked you that? Because you know that lovely cake you gave me at the top of the programme?
Yes.
And I thought, when I looked at my cake, you have to go in close up on this. I thought, why have they got Harry Redknapp on my my birthday cake? But it is lovely, and thank you to the cake
amazing.
company who made it. My producer Jess, who is telling me it's what 16 inches long and 11 inches high.
There you go.
There you are,
I'm saying
16 by 11.
I'm saying it's very, very clever.
With
very
Harry,
nice.
with Harry Redknapp
With Harry Redknapp. Happy birthday.
sitting there on the couch.
Thank you, the cake store.